Hi everyone, this week I'm sharing my shortcut recipe for making beef meatballs. These tasty meatballs with their springy texture are really easy to make and can be added to soups, noodle soups, or simply served as an appetizer with a dipping sauce. Join me in this short video and I'll show you how to make this classic dish. Let's do a quick rundown of the ingredients. We need 80-20 ground beef. This is beef that has a 20% fat content. We need some fat to make these meatballs juicy. We also need ice water, fish sauce, sugar, potato starch, beef seasoning, ground white pepper, baking powder, vegetable oil, and vinegar. Let's start by making the marinade for the meat. In a large bowl, add the ice water. Now add fish sauce, sugar, potato starch, the beef seasoning, and ground white pepper. Now let's stir everything together, combining all of the seasonings. Add the last ingredient, the baking powder, and stir to combine. Next, we break up the beef into smaller chunks and then add to the marinade. Now mix everything together, combining all the ingredients well. This takes just a minute or so as we don't want to overwork the meat. Spread the meat mixture evenly into a large plate or baking dish. Now let's cover it with plastic wrap. Place the dish into the freezer and we freeze for 1.5 hours. When removed from the freezer, the meat should be stiff but not frozen solid. This technique of freezing the meat is what gives the meatballs the nice springy texture. So that we don't overload our food processor, divide the meat into 3 equal parts. And again, cut the first section into 3 equal pieces. Add the meat into the prep bowl now. We don't want the meat to thaw, so we're going to return the amount we're not using right now back to the freezer. To process the meat, first pulse it 10 times. Scrape around the bowl and spread the meat if it's clumped into one big ball. Now process for another 10 seconds. Scrape around the bowl, and again we alternate 10 seconds of pulsing with 10 seconds of processing. We repeat this process for a total of 3 times, and the meat should be nicely whipped and smooth. Keep in mind the processing time may vary depending on the strength of your food processor. Remove the processed meat from the prep bowl and place back in the dish. Continue making the next batch the same way. And let's not forget to put the meat back in the freezer as we're processing one batch at a time. After the last batch is processed, add the first 2 batches into the prep bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, and then process everything for another 30 to 45 seconds. Place some plastic wrap on our counter. We scoop out half of the meat and then shape it into a log. Now roll the log securely in the plastic wrap. We can gently roll the log on our counter to even and smooth it out. We should be able to make 2 12-inch logs with this recipe. Place both logs back in the freezer and chill for another hour. Now we can shape our meatballs. Unroll one end of the log and then cut off the excess plastic wrap. Here's my trick for shaping the meatballs. Place your thumb and index finger around the log and simply twist off a small amount. Now we roll it between our palms to form a smooth ball. If our hands get sticky, just dip it in a little bit of water, and we keep going until all of the meatballs are made. To cook the meatballs, we bring a large pot of water to a boil. While the water is boiling, let's prepare the ice bath. This is where we'll dunk the meatballs after they're done cooking. The ice bath stops the cooking process and firms up the meatballs right away. To the ice bath, add 1 teaspoon of vinegar. The vinegar helps the meatballs from turning brown after they finish cooking. When the water comes to a rapid boil, quickly roll the balls between our palms one more time and then drop them into the boiling water. Once all the meatballs are added, turn the heat to low and simmer. Every few minutes, gently rotate the meatballs around in the water. We cook for a total of 7 to 8 minutes, but this may vary depending on the size. Now scoop out the meatballs and transfer them into the ice bath. The meatballs just need a quick 30-second dunk in the ice water, and then we can transfer them to a colander. We repeat the same process with the second batch until all the meatballs are cooked. These meatballs are really delicious when served with a hoisin dipping sauce and chili paste. Another way to enjoy these meatballs is to serve them in a broth as a soup.
Hi,
Hi, I hope you've enjoyed this easy how-to video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post below. For full recipes, check out runawayrice.com. I work on new recipes each week, so please subscribe to my channel to stay tuned. This is Trang wishing you good eating and good health. Thanks for watching.